Okay, I have got a unique taste on something here, and by taste, I mean take. All right, speaking of takes, we only do one take when, when we're doing these things, and that's obvious when you start off a video like this. Hey, if you're new to this channel, my name is Craig. Me and my buddy Chris started this because we love the Lions. We have been doing this for, oh my goodness, 4.5 years now, something like that. Maybe it's closing in on 5 years, to be honest with you. I think we might have started it 5 years ago in August. So 4 years ago or 5 years ago. This has been an absolute blast building this community to the point in which it has, and just being able to talk Lions football with all of you every single day for the last 4 or 5 years has just been an absolute blessing. So I have a unique take, and you see the title. It's talking about how a building block for the Detroit Lions isn't getting enough attention. No, he's not getting enough attention nationally. That's real. But he's not getting enough attention and enough credit and enough love from the fans here in Detroit. So I'm going to say the player's name, and then I am going to make the case why this dude is not only a building block, but he's one of the 5 or 6 best players on this team. And I'm not only going to compare him to the players on this team, but I'm going to compare him to other players at his same position around the NFL. And I'm going to actually give you stats. I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper dive here because it's July. What else are we going to do? It's time for me, Craig, to nerd out. All right. Hey, before I get into that, if you love the Lions but also love the NFL, we have a second channel, Sports Talk Extra. Make sure you check that out. Go ahead, go subscribe to that one too. Here's talk about other teams where we're always telling everybody that we're Lions fans. All right, so here it is. This is our lineup. I love looking at this one with PFF. I'm a visual guy, so it's nice to be able to see them all out. There's one player on here that, quite frankly, isn't getting the love that he deserves, and it is right here, the man in the middle of the defense, Jack Campbell. How do you feel about Jack Campbell? Because I think a lot of Lions fans, let's see the comments start filling up right now. Hit pause on it. Leave your comment before I say what I think a lot of people will say. They're either going to say, love Jack Campbell, or he still has to show me something. There's a lot of Lions fans that are like, yeah, he still has to show me something. Here's the thing that's very interesting about Jack Campbell. Let's just take PFF for a second. All right? His PFF grade, he is the number 10 rated linebacker. It's of 84 qualifying linebackers, just to be clear. He is the 10th rated linebacker in the NFL. Number 10. He's a top 10 player at his position, according to that. Other players on this team that are top 10 players at their position are Kirby Joseph, who's number 1. Brian Branch, number 5. Aiden Hutchinson, number 1. Isn't that crazy that we have all these guys? Aleem McNeil, number 9. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5th. Jahmyr Gibbs, 6th. Sam Laporta, 10th. Penei Sewell, 3rd. The other one was Frank Ragnow. Would you say that any of these guys that weren't Jack Campbell, do any of you have a question at all about any of these guys? Joseph, Branch, Hutch, McNeil, St. Brown, Gibbs, Laporta, Sewell. All right? There you go. That's 8 names, 8 players that are top 10 at their position. Do you have any question about any of them being a building block or a cornerstone of this franchise? I don't think you do. I bet you don't. All right, and Laporta was number 10 of tight ends when he had a bad year last year and he was playing hurt. Why aren't we all feeling this way about Campbell? Not only that, but nationally, people realize Joseph is phenomenal. People love Brian Branch. Aiden Hutchinson, they say, is the best defender in the league until he got hurt. People know McNeil's a good defensive tackle. People say Sewell is the best offensive tackle in the game. St. Brown is argued to be a top 5 or if not top 3 wide receiver, and Gibbs is the most electrifying running back, 1 or 2. Everybody thinks he's 1 or 2, or at least top 5. But nobody's talking about that with Campbell. Why? So let's go a little bit deeper into this. I'm gonna you know the PFF. Here's your top 10 linebackers from the 2024 season based on PFF grades. It's Zach Bond, who had the breakout season with the Eagles. You have Fred Warner, who has been doing it for a long time. These guys were in a league of their own. All right? And Bobby Wagner. absolutely. Now you got Oren Burks, Edgerrin Cooper of the Packers, Leo Chanel of the Chiefs, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah of the Browns, which was interesting to me, Landon Roberts of the Steelers, Devin Bush, former Michigan Wolverine, hello, of the Cleveland Browns. That's a nice comeback story. And then you have Jack Campbell. Here's something I want to do. Now, I don't have that other list memorized, but here's something that's very interesting. This is a list of total tackles. Jack Campbell's right down here. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19th in total tackles. Here's the thing that I found to be very, very interesting. Of all the guys we just talked about on PFF for the highest graded players, all right, highest graded players, there are only 2 other players that both received a top 10 PFF grade and showed up on this top 20 linebackers for tackles. That is Zach Bond, and then come on down here, Bobby Wagner. So there are only 3 players when you add Jack Campbell, and then you have Fred Warner right behind him, right? But of those 10 players, there were only 4 that also were top 25 in tackles this year. That is where efficiency meets production, where, hey, not only did you grade out well, but also you produced at the same time by being a tackling machine. I was very impressed by that. That was something I didn't necessarily expect. I expected Jack Campbell to be in the top 20, 25 of tackles. Don't get me wrong. Like, I knew that. But what I didn't expect was that 6 of those guys wouldn't touch that list as top-graded linebackers. We talk about the importance of Alex Anzalone and him coming back. It is important. But we missed Alex Anzalone even more because Barnes was already gone. I want to make that clear because Rodriguez was gone. Like, those are some of the reasons that we missed Alex Anzalone so much, because we were having that just lack of depth there. It was just ripped away. Jack Campbell's the only starter left for a portion of the season. All right, and he had to carry a ton of weight. The other thing I want to show you on this, when you look at Jack Campbell, this is very interesting. I'll just show you compared to the 2 other linebackers on this team. Over here is their defensive grade in each one. His pass rush grade wasn't great. So what? He's a middle linebacker, right? But even that was, whatever. It's fine. His run defense and coverage grade were both 9th and 12th. He was good at both of them. He's a well-rounded linebacker. Let's look at what Alex Anzalone has. We always talk about how good he was in coverage. In run defense, he was actually quite poor. In pass rush, same. So what? Right? Like, I don't need it to be phenomenal. Then we can go over and look at Barnes. Now, again, it was a small sample size with him, but he, once again, run defense grade, great. Pass rush, subpar. Coverage, not great. All right? It's good, but not great. The most well-rounded linebacker on our team is and will be Jack Campbell. He had a huge step from year 1 to year 2. All right, graded out at 52 year 1, and we saw that. We saw the growing pains. It was hard for him to get on the field, and then in year 2, he skyrocketed. I don't expect him to get worse. When you look at him, that was my biggest question with Jack Campbell is, can he make that jump to the next level? He has. He's already made it. I don't see him regressing backwards. Again, remember, this guy's combine numbers were almost identical to Brian Urlacher of the Chicago Bears. That's the kind of athlete that we're looking at right now. And if he can continue to improve, continue to get better, which I think he will, you are looking at arguably in 2 years, 3 years, the best middle linebacker in football. Give him his flowers, all right? He is a good player. Let's start acting like his name deserves to be said with the Kirby Josephs, the Brian Branches, the Aleem McNeils, the Aiden Hutchinsons, the Penei Sewells, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goffs of this team. Let's start talking about him that way because he is playing in a manner, both production and graded out, just the same. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.